Okay, this is Deuteronomy 4, verse 15 through 40. It's beware of idolatry. And I want to say something. When it comes to cities and names, I am horrible at pronouncing them, so bear with me. I'm not perfect. I'm not the perfect best reader. I'm not a super fast reader. I'm not anything like that. But the Lord led me to share these with you and to read to you guys. So this is what I'm doing. And no, I'm not saying that for a reward. I'm explaining why I'm doing this. Okay. Beware of idolatry. Deuteronomy 4, verse 15 through 40. Got my Bible. It says, "Take carefully heed to yourself, for you saw no form when the Lord spoke to you at Horeb, out of the midst of the fire, lest you act corruptly and make for yourselves a carved image in the form of any figure and likeness of male or female. The likeness of any animal that is on the earth, or the likeness of any winged bird that flies in the air. The likeness of anything that creeps on the ground, or the likeness of any fish that is in the water beneath the earth. And take heed, lest you lift your eyes to the heavens, and when you see the sun, the moon, and the stars, all the host of the heaven, you feel driven to worship them and serve them, which the Lord your God has given to all the people under the whole heavens as a heritage." Now I want to explain something before I go on with this. I'm at verse 20, so I want to mark this. You know how, like, people will sit there and say that this, like, when I see a cardinal, it's this person visiting me, or when I see a dragonfly, this person's visiting me, or if I see a blue jay, this person's visiting me, or like, oh, jellyfish swam by, this person's visiting me, or doing astrology, or like reading the stars, and they're like saying, oh, the moon is in a certain position, it must be like the full moon is what do they call it, it's like a bad night. Oh, the full moon is out, that's why the kids acted this way. Or it's a full moon, that explains why everything was going on. You're allowing those things to not be true. When you see a cardinal, it's not somebody coming to visit you, as much as y'all want it to. Reading horoscopes, it's against God, y'all. Like, straight up. Even in the New Testament, it's against God. Don't be believing none of that. It's making an idol out of something that is not what it is. It's like, I can sit there and say that this marker, like, as much as I love pink, okay, if I died and my kids saw this pink marker, they'd be like on a street somewhere, they'd be like, oh, it's my mom, they're visiting me. No, cut it out. I'm not, like, trying to condemn you all. I'm not trying to, like, make y'all feel bad about yourselves or nothing like that, because at times I do it out of force of nature because of other people doing it, but I, like, have to nip it in the butt because it's against God. All right, verse 20. "But the Lord has taken you and brought you out of the iron furnace, out of Egypt, to be his people, an inheritance as let me restart. "But the Lord has taken you and brought you out of the iron furnace, out of Egypt, to be his people, an inheritance as you are this day." When he says this day, it is like now, today, now, okay? "Furthermore, the Lord was angry with me for the sake," verse 21. I want to make sure I was where I was at. Okay, verse 21. "Furthermore, the Lord was angry with me for your sake, and swore that I would not cross over the Jordan, and that I would not enter the good land which the Lord your God is giving you as an inheritance. But I must die in this land. I must not cross over the Jordan, but you shall cross over and possess that good land. this is about Moses, okay? This is what God told Moses because of the people not listening and following him, okay? And before verse 4, it tells us about, is it Joshua? I'm pretty sure it's Joshua. Yeah, Joshua. When Moses dies, God tells Moses that when Moses dies, that Joshua and the Israelites will then go over to them. Go over to the promised land. Okay, let's see. 23. Take heed to yourself, lest you forget the covenant of the Lord your God, which he made with you, and make for yourselves a carved image in the form of anything which the Lord your God has forbidden you. So let me repeat this. I'm going to go 22 and 23, and I'm going to keep going. Take heed to yourselves, lest you forget. No, wait. Sorry. Verse 22. Okay. But I might die in this land. That I must die in this land. I must not cross over the Jordan. But you shall cross over and possess the good land. Mind you, we're talking about adultery. Or idolatry. Not adultery. Idolatry. Sorry. Take heed to yourself. Okay? Meaning, listen and know. Like, stop and listen. Take heed to yourself. Least. Unless. Okay? Unless you forget the covenant of the Lord your God, which he made with you, and make for yourselves a carved image in the form of anything which your Lord God has forbidden you. So you got to remember, you got to stop and go, hey, no, I can't do that. I can't do that. If I want to go over to the promised land, I got to do what the good Lord tells me, and I can't be doing adultery. Idolatry. 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 Okay? I know what the difference is between the two of them. Okay. Verse 24. For the Lord your God is a consuming fire, a jealous God. When you beget children and grandchildren and have grown old in the land, and act corruptly and make a carved image in the form of anything, and do evil in the sight of the Lord your God to provoke him to anger. I call heaven and earth to witness against you in this day. I call heaven and earth to witness against you this day, that you will soon utterly perish from the land which you cross over the Jordan to possess. You will not prolong your days in it, but will utterly destroyed. But will be utterly destroyed. Hold on. And the Lord will scatter you among the peoples, and you will be left few in numbers among the nations where the Lord will drive you. And there you will serve God. There you will serve gods, the work of men's hands, wood and stone, which neither see nor hear, nor eat, nor smell. But from there you will seek the Lord your God, and you will find him if you seek him with all your heart and with all your soul. When you are in distress, and all these things come upon you in the later days, when you turn to the Lord your God and obey his voice, he will not forsake you, nor destroy you, nor forget the covenant of your fathers which he has sworn to them. For ask now concerning the days that are past, which were before you since the day that God created man on earth, and ask from one end of heavens to the other, whether any great things like this happened, or anything like it has been heard. Did any people ever hear the voice of God speaking out in the midst of the fire, as you have heard and live? Or did God ever try to go and take for himself a nation from the midst of another nation, by trial, by signs, by wonders, by war, by a mighty hand, and an outreached arm, and be great terror according to all that the Lord your God did for you in Egypt before your eyes? To you it was shown that you might know that the Lord himself is God. There is none other beside him. Out of heaven he let you hear his voice, that he might instruct you on earth. He showed you his great fire, and you heard his words out of the midst of the fire. And because he loved your father, therefore he chose their descendants after them, and brought you out of Egypt with his presence, with his mighty power, driving out from before your nation, greater and mightier than you, to bring you in to give you their land as an inheritance, as it is this day. Therefore know this day and consider in your heart that the Lord himself is God, in heaven above and on earth beneath. There is no other. You shall therefore keep his statute and his commandments, which I command you today, that it may go well with you and with your children after you, and that you may prolong your days in the land which the Lord your God is giving you for all time. And now my dogs are wanting attention, so I'm going to give them a little bit of attention. But that is Deuteronomy 4, verse 15 through 40.